You don't have
most
any,
of them. Yes.
Do you have
not
help?
all of them? But
do you
most
have
of
help?
Them.
I'm asking you. Do they help you?
Are you okay? NFL, Rob, and Micah Parsons, who has the popular podcast called The Edge, was talking about his teammate Dak Prescott recently, and here's what he said, Rob.
I think that Dak Prescott should be in the MVP conversation. If you're looking at numbers, what he's able to do, his efficiency, Dak Prescott is playing at elite level. He needs to be talked about more, not less. We should open our eyes. Open your eyes, people. Dak Prescott should be in the MVP conversation, and I think he will prove that leading out to the end of this year and winning some big games and leading us to the playoffs.
But his numbers are good, but he's still not in the hunt.
Yeah, I'm with the hunt. Him being out of the hunt. I don't think he's an MVP candidate at all. I think, you've heard me call Matthew Stafford over the years Stat Padford. I'm going to call Dak Padford because he's padded his stats, and I'm not mad at him, Chris. And so when you look at it, you can look at just stats, and that's why no one has him up there because it's not just a stat-driven no matter what. Oh, well, you just put up these numbers. It is about quality of opponents. It's about winning other games. It's like not wetting the bed in the moments that you've been waiting for. Those are the things that are holding Dak Prescott back, not being a Cowboys quarterback. It has nothing to do with the Cowboys. It's that people are going to look at it.
Well, again, nobody says he should be at the top, though. You don't even think he should be a mention?
Well, if you're 11th, then no, you're not even. That's not really a mention.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like
he shouldn't be.
Fifth,
No, that's where he
sixth,
belongs.
Somewhere around there?
Nah, he belongs.
All right.
I don't have one iota, one scintilla, one millimeter, Chris, 1 inch to say that Dak Prescott. I thought at all that he should be mentioned for MVP this year. Like zero, nothing. I cannot even form the words out of my mouth that he's the MVP or should be running for it. So me and you don't see the same. I'm just saying. I don't see it.
You got to give me some facts. The Jets, who Patrick Mahomes struggled against, Josh Allen has struggled against.
Chris, are they a good team? Yes 30, or no?
They're a good defense. And that's
no, are they a good team? Is what I asked you.
They're 4-5. Are they 4-5 and in the hunt? They're decent. Their defense is really good.
Are they a good team? It's a simple answer. Yes or no. Yes or no? Are they a good team?
Dak Prescott, 255
yards. Are they a good team?
2 touchdowns. I answered your question.
No, you
They
didn't.
got a really good defense, and they're a decent team. They're in the playoffs.
He's not the MVP, Chris. You can read the stats up and down. You can make your case. I'm telling you that people don't view him as an MVP. Because there have been those bad games, and when you pile up on the Giants and some of these other teams, you want to call the Rams a good team, call them a good team. You want to call the Chargers a good team, call them a good team. Look at the teams that they've beaten. Who has a winning record out of those 6 teams? Nobody.
You like I said,
nobody. There's no big games in November. There's no big games in November.
And so I think this is a smart move by the Cowboys if indeed they can lock Dak in 4 years, $35 million. Rob Parker, you there?
Yes. All right. No, I just didn't know if you could hear me. All right. Once again, Chris, you're tainted with your rose-colored Dak Prescott glasses. You're talking about a guy who couldn't even get a team to the playoffs after they started 3-0 last year, or whatever were they, 3-0 or 4-0, and they couldn't even make the playoffs. Dak played awful against some of the better teams. He played well against it, and you say he's not a top 5. He's a middle-of-the-road quarterback. You could talk about all the wins. Oh, he had the second most wins to Tom Brady. That's not
isn't that
it.
What it's about?
But when you look at wins, no, because you can win other ways.
Menu, Rob Parker.
You can win in
now,
other
all of a
ways.
sudden, there's not a short menu.
No, not when you're going to pay a guy a lot of money, and you know that unless everything else is working, they don't win, and they don't even get to the damn playoffs. Dak was awful when it mattered. They went into Philadelphia.
Carson Wentz.
They went into Philadelphia, and Carson Wentz beat Dak. Dak couldn't even get a touchdown on a makeshift Eagles team with the season and the division on the line. The Cowboys saw that, That's why they paused. And they can go ahead and pay him.
Stop it with that
It would be a
false narrative.
it'll be a disaster. That's
And
why
make
he's
him
on a
prove
franchise tag. It ain't no deal done yet. Did he sign a deal?
We're talking reportedly.
Is there a deal done now, Chris? Yes or no?
Who said a deal was done?
Is there a deal?
Did I ever say a deal was done?
All I'm saying is he's on the
said
franchise
reports are out
tag.
there.
That's
Okay.
how good he is. He's on
All
the
right.
franchise tag.
I
Everybody
get it.
else got a raise and got the highest
And
Everybody
how's that
else.
worked out? How's
Everybody
it worked out for all
else.
those
Everybody.
teams?
That's the nature of the
How many of
business.
them have won the
and
Super
doing
Bowl
business
with
in the
that happening?
NFL. Matthew Stafford
Name
got the
one.
highest contract
Did
when
he
his
win a
turn
Super
came
Bowl?
up. And when his turn came
a
up.
playoff game?
No, when his turn came up, they paid him. They didn't him and
Well,
haw.
you know what?
They
If I
paid
was
him.
in an NFL team, my number one goal is not to follow the trend. My number one goal is to set the best trend for us
Yes,
to
and that's
win.
why the Cowboys got 3 playoff wins in 25 years.
they
because
entered
they're the ones.
negotiations.
It's their business that they're doing. Yeah, follow the Cowboys. They do it right.
They entered negotiations.
Cowboys have no idea what they're doing.
Let's not throw him under the bus because great players can be made to look pretty terrible under really terrible coaching. Because technically, a quarterback isn't carrying the whole team across the goal line and whatnot else. It's the coaching too. So,
Hey, Justin.
It's a lot of things.
Justin, can I say this to you? Is he still there?
yes, I am.
Okay, so Chris likes to tout that he won the second most games in the NFL behind Tom Brady. Who was the coach the entire time that he won second most games behind Tom Brady?
The coach
Jason
that could
Garrett.
never finish it.
Oh, Jason
So
Garrett.
are you
they
saying
just fired.
Garrett did
Okay.
a great job,
I
Rob?
rest my case.
Is that what you're saying, Garrett?
I
That
rest
could
my
be
case.
argued to benefit Dak.
I
If he
rest
could
my
do
case.
that with Jason Garrett, my goodness. What's he going to do with a Super Bowl coach like Mike McCarthy?
I rest
Thank
my
you.
case. It
Thank
ain't got
you. I
nothing
rest
to do
mine.
with Jason Garrett.
I rest mine.
No, I rest my case.
I
You
rest
can't-
my case. Go
so
ahead. Who's
ridiculous.
next?
You're going to blame him. He has the second most wins. but
Yeah,
it's
I'm going to
Jason
blame
Garrett's
Jason
fault.
Garrett. He deserved to be
He's
blamed.
the one who threw the ball in the ground in Philadelphia. He's the one who couldn't hit any open receivers. All right,
What
Michael
about all
in
the good
Kentucky.
things? He
Michael
threw
in
for almost
Kentucky.
5,000 yards last year, but didn't hit any receivers. Yeah,
That's
no.
right. Not when it
30
mattered.
touchdowns.
Didn't no big game in November. Didn't no big game in
A little bit
November.
strange.
Didn't no-
But I don't hold this against Wembanyama. Do you?
Absolutely, I do.
Wow.
Because if we were going to give this kid praise, he's supposed to be a generational talent. And Chris, I'm not sitting here telling you he ain't going to the Hall of Fame or his career's over. But if we were going to praise this kid for the numbers and the stuff that we thought he would do, then we got to look at it and say, every team would love to have your franchise player, the guy you're building around. And I get it, you got to get other players around. But to lose 18 straight is dubious. 18 in a row is ridiculous for a guy of his talent that they can't win a game. I mean, you're looking at the Pistons. They don't have anybody close to Wemby. Nobody close.
Well, not close to Wemby,
No.
but Cade Cunningham was viewed
ain't-
as a great player too.
he
Nobody's this guy. Nobody's this guy.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying,
and
like,
they've
there
lost
are other
21
good players,
in a row.
though.
And they've lost 21 in a row. And I can't look at that Pistons roster and Wemby and say it's the same team. Because if Cade and Wemby are the same, Chris, he ain't gonna be no generational talent.
No, I'm just saying good. I totally see it differently. I don't expect a 19-year-old kid to come in and win. I just don't. I just read, is LeBron a generational talent? Because he won one. Because he was 4-15 instead of 3-20.
18.
That's that big of a difference.
Yeah, it is when you have teams like Washington.
What do you mean? We've always had bad teams in the league. This ain't new.
This bad? Washington and Detroit. You got 3 teams that got to win between 3 teams.
There's always
Chris, I'm asking you
horrible
about
teams in the NBA.
3 teams like this, and then you got other teams. There's Portland. There's a handful of teams.
That's not different than any other year.
Last thing, I got some stats here. Longest.
No, Rob G got some stats.
Longest. No. I got some stats. It's called a radio show.
It's called him sending them to you.
Okay, I got stats.
It's cool.
During and the stats you recite on television, you come up with all of them?
Most of them.
Yeah, okay. All right.
No,
Come on,
I
man.
mean, you
don't do
most
that.
of them,
Don't do that, Chris.
Rob,
you don't have
most
any,
of them, yes.
Do you have
Not
help?
all of them, but
do you
most
have
of them.
help? I'm asking you. Do they help you?
Are you okay?
Do you have help? Come on, man. It doesn't matter where I got them from. I got the numbers. All right?
You got a problem with Rob G sending them to you? Well, then why you acting all
because you're acting
babyish?
like it's some like it's some double secret, like, oh my God,
a
producer
You're
actually
acting
gave
like it's
you
double
something.
secret.
No, you are.
You're the one I got
like
stats. Why don't you say check these stats out Rob G sent
No,
me? If it ain't a secret.
I have them.
Yeah, you have them because he sent them to you. Rob, I know you never miss first things first.
Let me talk, please. Just be quiet right now.
Go
KG, ahead. 7 games in a row, the most. AD, this is rookie year longest.
Really? You comparing KG to Wembanyama? KG averaged 10 points a game as a rookie? Stop
AD.
it.
LeBron had 8-game losing streak. Shaq 6 and Michael Jordan 5. You got to push back from the table.
He can't be the greatest player that can ever play. I know, Mike Beast, make a statement. Say it with your chest.
Well,
he cannot be the greatest player ever because he lost 18 straight. Is
I'm
that
just saying. I'm going to question it.
Then you ain't saying jack.
I'm questioning it.
Then you ain't saying. No, you ain't even questioning it.
I am questioning it right now.
You say it with your chest. Yes or no, Rob Parker? Same thing you do to our callers. Yes or no?
Chris,
is he disqualified from being the best player
Nobody
ever?
said that, but I'm going to challenge you people who propped them up. And just like you, this is the problem with guys.
You're not saying anything.
This is you. No, I can't hold it against them, but you're ready to prop up guys as soon as they get into the league. Oh, Patrick Mahomes is Jordan Nash. He's Michael Jordan.
He is.
No, he's not Michael Jordan.
2 Super Bowls.
No, he ain't. 2
MVPs in his first 5 years.
He's lost at home.
Pretty darn good.
To Joe Burrow. He's lost at home to Joe Burrow.
Michael Jordan didn't even win a championship in his first 6 years. So
he never lost.
I actually think Mahomes is ahead of him.
Mahomes has lost twice already.
All right. And for the record, I've often gone on TV and said, Dusty, my man Dusty gave me these numbers. Josh gave me these numbers. So there you go, Rob Parker. How you like them apples? So what was your takeaway, Rob Parker, from what you saw last night in that game?
Just, the awful shooting night by Steph Curry and all the Steph Curry minions who got their panties in a bunch last night. Steph Curry was awful last night, but he had a bad night. But this is my only thing, okay? It was a big game. There's no big game in November. That's all the Steph Curry got. There's no big game in November. Where were you when they beat Brooklyn? It's fine. I was here, and I was here last night.
You weren't really saying nothing.
I didn't say anything last night, Chris. I didn't say there was no.
You've been squawking all day. You sent me a text of a pack of cool cigarettes and baby oil, and the caption was, after Steph's bad night. You needed cigarettes and baby oil, so stop it with the trying to come off like, I'm objective. No! You were cheering your head off from Mikal Bridges last night, and you've been blowing smoke all day long. Just own it, Rob.
Now, here's my point, though. My point is you can't have it both ways. If Steph Curry went for 50 last night against the red-hot Phoenix Suns and snapped their streak, Chris, those Steph Curry fans would be crowing and you wouldn't hear the end of it. Admit it and acknowledge he had a bad night and give the Suns some credit and leave it alone. But to try to downplay the game,
stop it.
Try to downplay it enough. I'm not having that.
Stop it. All right. Because first of all, it's ridiculous what you're saying. He had a bad game. But you're calling out his minions, as you called them, his fans. I can say the same thing about you. Where were you when he dropped 37 on the Brooklyn Nets, huh? In Brooklyn. In a rout of Durant and Westbrook and Harden. And Durant, by the way, 6-for-19 that night. I didn't get a text that day of cool cigarettes and baby oil. I didn't get a text that morning talking about, what we leading with tonight, baby. I can't wait. We didn't even talk about it. So I'm crying hypocrite. I'm calling hypocrite right now, Rob Parker, because you can't have it both ways.
No, my point is that it was big because had he slayed the Suns that had run off 16 straight, Chris, and went to, right, that game was in Phoenix, goes to Phoenix, wins that game, has 50, people would be ranting and raving like to the high heaven.
Naturally.
No, but he had a bad night. Okay, so
it would be the same way. What
so
you talking about?
why can't people talk about the bad night? We can talk about it. Don't try to discount it.
We are talking about it.
No, I'm talking about his minions. They don't want to hear about it. They think it's the November game. It don't matter. What are you talking about? There's no big game in November. Rob. This is a daily radio show, Chris Broussard. We're not talking about Steph Curry's lifetime achievement. Who cares? It's a daily radio show. You know what happened last night? Steph was stinky. He stunk up the joint. He was historically bad. It's worth talking about. And don't tell me it wasn't a big game. It was the biggest game of the year.
Nobody said it wasn't a big game.
No, his minions said it wasn't a big game. There's no big game in November. There's no big game in November. There's no big game in November.
You sound like you still got baby oil on, man. I mean, my goodness.
I'm a little ashy. Baby.
Yeah, you need to send some of that to Brooklyn. To KD, my goodness.
How about where I got that picture when I went to the store to get that picture?
I'm surprised you haven't done a Where's My Beef on baby oil and cool cigarettes or something Chris, like that.
This is how cheap I am. You saw the picture.
Yeah.
Now, normally somebody would
buy that.
Somebody would buy the baby oil and buy the cigarettes and take their own picture, right? So I bought the baby oil for $1, but there's no way I'm paying $8 for cigarettes I'm not smoking. So I went to the counter, asked the guy, could he show me a pack of Cools? I sat it next to the baby oil.
What did he say when you took the picture?
And I said, I just needed a picture. I don't smoke. And he just put it back.